just as quick as the nationals. And it's kind of hard to just say, well, this was a terrorist, because it wasn't. The nationals weren't there. Local were there just as quickly. And it was right off a freeway. You could see it. And by golly, how come it didn't burn down in 1 hour? Why didn't it just collapse and we see all kinds of dust? It's burning and burning and it's still standing. Well, it's only 3 stories tall or whatever, 4, I don't know how many, about that high. Well, guys, hey, Mr. Government, hey, Uncle Sam, hey, governments of the world, maybe China doesn't have the guts, but Americans got the guts, and guess what? They've got the guns. And if you don't resolve these problems peacefully, and if they don't have guns, more of this stuff's going to happen with nutcases, but there will be a very important message delivered to the people that are in charge of this government through the barrel of a gun in an organization called Freedom Fighters that have done it once before to get this country started, and they'll do it again. And they don't care what you do in the media. They won't care what you say on the Hill. They don't care what kind of TSA workers or what Homeland Security is doing. They'll just consider anybody against their freedom-fighting activities, which is, by the way, millions, a problem. Well, let me give you a little example about what's going on. They had on television somebody asking a question to a consultant that was being interviewed by the newscaster. Well, what do you think about the Tea Party people? Are they dangerous? And the consultant said, well, I really don't think the Tea Party is going to go out and blow anybody up, but I tell you who is really dangerous, and that's the Oath Keepers. The Oath Keepers have about 1,000 members. They have a lot more than 1,000, let me tell you. And they're ex-military and law enforcement, and they're really dangerous people. Well, guess who was talking? The Southern Poverty Law Center. It's the same group with the same mentality that stole 6 Great Britain had 6 people's IDs stolen that the Mossad used to sneak into Dubai with fake passports from the United Kingdom to go murder somebody. They're in trouble. Guess what? That's who Southern Poverty Law Center is. Did you know that them and their buddies, we've got a couple that are hooked together. Southern Poverty Law Center, okay, and the ADL are the same group. Okay? They just take one hat off when they leave the door. They probably have keys on the same ring for the both places. And they've been in court in this country and been charged with treasonous activity called foreign espionage against the people of the United States and have been found guilty. And they're still here? What in the world are they doing here? I'll tell you, they have a very powerful lobby group with lots of money. Well, they don't actually have lots of money. They print it. So, folks, the bottom line is you're going to have people that are getting hungry, losing their jobs, and they're going to start flying planes into buildings more and more. Then you're going to see an organized resistance. We've got to go with principles first. Well, all the time we have to go with principles, but it has to be peaceful. We have to exhaust every possible, potential, peaceful path that we have until it's completely not available. And you say, oh, well, then we can't bring out guns. Yes, we can. Because if you want to stand there and say, if you don't stop raping my children and skinning and murdering my wife, I'm going to go file a lawsuit on you, or I'm going to have them pass a bill. No, that's when you get out the 12-gauge shotgun and shoot them. And that's what I'm talking about. There's a peaceful high ground that we must take, and that has to be backed with real weapons. What do they back laws with today that are supposedly peaceful? Laws? What's the law's teeth? Guns in the holsters of law enforcement, right? Even if they're illegal laws, they back them with weapons. High moral ground isn't stripping people of their defense, is not removing their teeth. It means going to that point first of giving everybody an option to peacefully remedy the situation. Now, folks, I didn't say go bomb a building with an airplane. I'm not saying that. But I can understand why he did. He's lost it. He's completely lost it. You can't, support that kind of thing, but I can tell you this, you can certainly understand how he got there. And what I'm saying is more people are going to be driven to that point. And if you are frustrated, take the path Sam Kennedy has taken in America and go to Republic Broadcasting Network's broadcast of his show on Sundays and listen. And go to the John Chronicles at WordPress and go to Argusog, and I'll be giving those links. I got a whole bunch of links I just gave Argusog, but you get that link to the Yahoo group and you get hooked up. What is it all about? It's about having grand juries all across this nation that are not under the control of the politicians. Sarah Palin, she's controlled. She's puppeted. Oh yeah, she might look, like she's saying the right things. The only people that are getting fooled are the Tea Party people. And many of them don't like what's going on themselves. They understand. And you even have pundits like Bill O'Reilly saying, how can you have a movement without a central theme? Well, the central theme is just common knowledge, Billy. The central theme is we want our freedom back. We want our government to be listening to us. We want politicians not to be career anymore. I mean, look at the guy they elected in Massachusetts. That's a career politician. You have career politicians all getting ready now to take the opportunity for the pendulum to swing back to the opposite side on this little dialectic process we've got. What is it? Well, it was over at about 9 o'clock. Now it's going to swing back over to 3 o'clock or vice versa. And now we're going to have Republicans voted in. And guess who will probably run? I'm going to predict that Dick Cheney will run for president. Hagag me. Bush, Cheney, Bill Clinton, Senior Bush, Obama, they're all from the same piece of cloth. They're all doing the same thing. They just want you to play the game of ping pong and bat the little ping pong ball from one side of the table to the other. And guess what? Use the same ping pong ball. They don't care as long as you play with their guys. They don't want us taking over. Oh, for crying out loud, that the Senate would lose their retirement and their power and their influence. Oh, God, it's more like this. Their power and their corruptibility. Even Pelosi is so corrupt that she's getting frustrated with being more corrupt like she is. She's had a longer time to do it. The only difference is she gets to get face